Hey guys, so today I'm bringing you another special video. As you guys have probably noticed from the title and the thumbnail of this video, I will be helping to co-host March Mystery Madness this year once again. March Mystery Madness is my absolute favorite readathon going on every single year. March is my favorite reading month because we get to just read a whole bunch of mysteries. As usual, this is being hosted by Elizabeth over at LizziefayeLovesBooks, which I will link her channel down below, and then all of the co-hosts for this year as well will all be linked down below for you guys to go check out and see kind of what everybody is doing on their own channels and everything. I know there are going to be some people doing live shows and different games and read-alongs and everything, and there's a very wide variety of different kinds of readers within the mystery genre. So I'm sure that you guys will find a mystery genre or a subgenre that you guys are going to enjoy with all of our co-hosts for this year. So for this year, for 2022, the theme is 2x2 or doubles. So it's kind of, we're leaving it very broad this year for you to kind of interpret that however you'd like. Doubles, you know, it could be a mystery that takes place with two siblings or two main characters or two perspectives, or it could be the second book in a series. So something like that, you know, 2x2, you could read 4 books throughout the month. So however you choose to interpret this kind of general prompt for the month, you guys can go ahead definitely and follow them if you'd like to. We didn't want to do kind of individual prompts throughout the month because people kind of feel a little bit you know, stuck with wanting to follow all of these prompts. So we left it very broad, very general for this year, which I'm really excited about. You can follow these prompts if you want to. You don't have to at all. I'm most likely not going to end up following these prompts. I know that there are a lot of books on my kind of general radar that may not fit into the prompt, but I may want to get to. So don't feel obligated to need to fit the books that you want to read into the prompt of doubles or 2x2. So I'm going to share kind of, you know, what's on my general radar. I have tons of mystery books that I've been wanting to read that have been on my shelf for a while. I know I'm not going to get to all of these books. I have probably 15 or 20 books around me that are just in my general just a radar right now. I'm leaving it a little bit broad this year. I'm not sticking to a specific TBR because things have been a little bit crazy in life, so I want to kind of leave things a little bit open for me to kind of choose mysteries as I feel kind of inclined to read them, you know, whatever mood I'm kind of in. I have a different kind of mystery that might fit my mood, so I'm going to share with you guys the books that I have kind of generally on my radar for the month of March. And then if you guys, you know, want to read some of these with me, absolutely let me know. I would love to do some buddy reads this year as well. But yeah, the first couple of books that I have on here are from R.L. Stine. These are 2 of his Fear Street novels, like the revamp of Fear Street. We have The Wrong Girl and You May Now Kill the Bride. These are books 1 and 2 in the new kind of Fear Street series, and I've had these for a while. I absolutely love R.L. Stine and Fear Street, so these are 2 that are definitely on my radar for this year to hopefully pick up at some point. I also have The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've heard really, really great things about this series. There are 4 books in this series, so it can kind of fit the prompt. And this one's been on my shelf for a while now, actually a couple years, and I have yet to pick it up. So this one I may end up getting inclined to picking this one up. I feel like this is going to be a fairly quick read with what I've seen and everything. And again, I've heard really good things from people that I trust here on BookTube as well. So this is one that's definitely going to be on my radar just because I, at this point, need some motivation to kind of get through this one as well. I also have The Collide by Kimberly McCreet. This is the 3rd book in the Outlier series. I just recently finished book 2. Really enjoying this series. I'm hoping I can get to this one probably in February. We'll see. But if I don't get to it in February, this is definitely going to be one that's going to be on my radar in March because I want to get through this trilogy, kind of see how things end up wrapping up in this one. And yeah, I mean, I'm not doing really good with synopsis and everything because I don't want this video to be super, super long. So I apologies on that. I also have the next book next book that I have to read from Ruth Ware, which is The Turn of the Key. I'm currently kind of reading The Death of Mrs. Westaway. Me and my wife are listening to it on audiobook together, and we took a little break from it. It expired from the library, but we're hopefully going to pick it up within the next week or so and hopefully finish that audiobook. So then Turn of the Key would be the next one that I have to read by Ruth Ware, and it's definitely one that's going to be on my radar for March because I'm trying to get through all of Ruth Ware's books that she has out so far, because I believe her newest book comes out this year, and I really want to get to that one as well. So I've been really enjoying Ruth Ware and her writing, so I'm really excited to get to this one as well. I've heard really good things about this one too. The next book I have is one actually that I picked up very recently, and that's All These Bodies by Kendara Blake. I've never read anything by Kendara Blake. I still have her Three Dark Crowns series on my shelf that I'm hoping to get to at some point this year. We'll see what ends up happening. But this is a YA mystery thriller kind of book. It's kind of like a ghost story, I believe. I read a little bit of the synopsis and it sounded really interesting. I can't remember exactly what the details were at this point, but this is a fairly short book, so one that I am definitely keeping my eyes open for this one, and trying to remember that this one is there if I need something kind of quick to read, because I feel like I can definitely get to this one fairly quickly in the month of March. I also have one that I have been dying to read, so this is probably going to be one of the first ones that I pick up in March, and that is Dark and Shallow Lies by Ginny Myers Sane. This is one that came out, I believe it was in October or September of this past year, and I've had my eye on this one for a long time. Really, really excited to read this one. It takes place in like the bayous. It's very like, this setting is very like swampy and mysterious, and there's some kind of mystery going on in like this southern town, and I believe there's kind of like magic involved in this one too. I'm really excited to pick this one up. Again, I feel like this is out of all of the books that I have, this is one that I feel like I'm definitely going to get to in the month of March, because I've again have had my eye on this one for a really, really long time, so definitely going to pick this one up. I also have White Smoke by Tiffany Jackson. This is supposed to be kind of like The Haunting of Hill House type vibes, I guess. So this is one, again, that I'm very, very interested in reading. R.L. Stine blurbed it, so I feel like I definitely have to check this one out. If I don't get to it in March, I'm definitely going to get to it at the beginning, or at least the first half of 2022, because again, the whole Haunting of Hill House vibes and everything is definitely something that I'm interested in reading. Haunted houses and that kind of thing. So one that I am definitely, that's high up on my list of books that I want to pick up, at least, again, in the first couple of months of the year. And then I also have The Companion by Katie Allender. This, I think I read somewhere, I saw somewhere that it's supposed to be like a retelling of something, and I can't remember what exactly it was. I remember, I picked this one up on Book Outlet. I'd heard a couple of things about it. It sounded really interesting, and then I found out later on that it was a retelling of a book that I feel like I've read as well. But again, I cannot remember off the top of my head what the retelling was, but one that I'm still really, really curious about reading. I believe it's about a child who comes to live in this home, and there's something going on with the child. I don't know if he has got like an imaginary friend or something like that, but really, really interesting. It sounds really creepy, and one that I, again, will hopefully pick up in March, but if not, I will read fairly soon, because this is one that's definitely high up on my radar as well. And then I also have the next book in the Witchcraft series by Juliet Blackwell and A Witch's Wardrobe. These I feel like I've been kind of slowly picking through every year in March. I kind of pick the next book in the series. I have gotten through the first 3 books in the series, so I do own book 4. Hopefully going to get through book 4 in March as well, because these are fairly quick and very, very fun to read. Cozy mysteries and stuff. So this is one that's definitely on my radar for March, and hopefully again going to get to. This next one here, I don't know if I'm going to end up reading in March or not, because it's definitely a chunker, but it's What She Knew by Jilly McMillan. I don't know why her name isn't on the front, it's on the side. But either way, this is one of those kind of adult psychological thrillers that we see a lot of nowadays. So one that I'm definitely interested in reading, but definitely one that's a chunker. So I don't think I'm going to get to this one in March, unless I can somehow find an audiobook of it and kind of get through it fairly quickly. But either way, it's still on my radar of possibilities for March. I also have Layla by Colleen Hoover, which I wanted to read. I think it was in October and never ended up getting to, so I may get to it in March. We'll see what ends up happening, because I have a couple of Colleen Hoover books that I want to get to, but I definitely want to read Layla, and I feel like March is the perfect time to read it because this is more of a like romantic suspense. I believe she categorized it as it's somewhat of a love story, ghost story. So really interested to see kind of, you know, where this goes and kind of how this plays out, because it's one that I'm interested in reading, absolutely. The next one I have is Redemption Point by Candice Fox. This is the second book in the Crimson Lake series. The first book I read last year for March Mystery Madness, and it ended up being my favorite book of the month. So I think it's time to read the second book in this series because I've been wanting to read it and I just keep forgetting and pushing things off and reading other things instead. So I feel like it's time to finally read Redemption Point. I'm going to have to put this one like high up on my TBR list to get to in March because, again, I absolutely loved the first book, so I really want to see what happens in the second one. I believe each book in this series follows a different mystery, so even though there are some details from the first book that I may not remember, I think it's okay for me to jump into this one in March. So yeah, that's definitely one that I'm keeping an eye out for. I also have Fool Me Once by Harlan Coben. Haven't read something by Harlan Coben in a little while, so definitely want to keep an option open for Harlan Coben as well, and kind of see if I want to, or I'm inclined to pick something up by him. Because, you know, I haven't read something by him in a while. I think the last book I read by him was The Stranger, which I really, really enjoyed. I watched the Netflix series as well. So if you guys have not read The Stranger, haven't seen the Netflix series, it's really interesting, really great mystery. So I highly recommend it. So I have Fool Me Once, again, by Harlan Coben. Another book that's been on my shelf for a couple of years now. So I definitely need to get to it sooner than later. And then the last book that I have kind of on my radar, I honestly don't think I'm going to get to this one in March, but we'll see what happens because, again, another one that I need to read is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This is kind of an adult, dark academia. There's like these murders happening within these dark societies at Harvard, I believe it is. So it fits into the whole mystery thing for March Mystery Madness. So I will see what happens with this one. Again, if I'm inclined to read it in March, at least it's on my radar. I know I have it and it's available to me, but, I need to get to this one. I love Leigh Bardugo. She's one of my favorite authors. I purchased this book when it first came out, and it's just, I have not read it yet, so definitely one that I need to kind of remember that I have and hopefully pick up at some time soon if I don't pick it up in March. So yeah, guys, that is it for the books that I kind of have on my radar for March Mystery Madness. I'm hoping you guys are able to join us this year. Again, check out all of the hosts down below, see kind of what they're doing, everything, all of the fun activities and live shows and everything that everyone is doing, and games and things. If you guys want to participate, absolutely do so. If there are any books on kind of my radar pile that you guys have been wanting to read as well and want to read with me, definitely let me know, and we can definitely kind of set up a little buddy read and stuff and kind of read some of these together. That'll definitely motivate me to get through some of these. So yeah, let me know down below if you guys are going to be participating this year in March Mystery Madness. Again, this is my absolute favorite month of the year, absolute favorite reading month, because again, I absolutely love mysteries. So thank you guys all again for watching. I hope you guys will join us, and I will talk to you soon.